Here, and I'm going to be going over the scenario bringing in the reserves. So if we read our scenario, it talks about this peanut plant needing this extra energy, and so it's breaking down, reading this, a carbohydrate from its root. So we know we're dealing with the carbohydrate, and then it says it also that it's breaking down this carbohydrate, so we know that we are breaking down our molecule. This just helps us get our feet set to tackle this problem. And then it says, is anything happening beforehand? No. Really all we're doing is just going from a polysaccharide to a monosaccharide, so nothing fancy here. All right, next thing we need to do is just set our stage for where this is happening. So it says, circle where this reaction will occur. And it says that this is being broken down, the carbohydrates being broken down in the roots. So I'm going to circle just an area of the roots right here. Now let's say that you just missed that part. That's totally fine. There's other resources you could also find that or confirm it. So for instance, if we look at our image of our plant here, we could start looking at the different parts of the plant and everything. And when we get to the roots, it says roots can also store energy in large polymer carbohydrate molecules called starch. So this kind of confirms the idea that the plant's going to store these polysaccharides here, and then they'll break them down when needed. All right. So I circled where the reaction will occur. Then it says, well, then draw an arrow to show where the molecule will be going after this process occurs. So where's that monosaccharide? Where's that glucose going to go? And if I just read the problem, it says, once broken down in the roots, the resulting molecule will go to the leaf cells. So I'm going to have my glucose going through the stem and just to any leaf cell. So I've answered my questions on my biomolecule sheet. Now my goal is to model the reactants and products of this reaction. One thing that I have here is, did anything happen to the reactants beforehand? As we had answered before, nope, nothing. So again, I'm going to be breaking down a molecule in this case. So again, I'm going to be breaking down a molecule. I'm going to be dealing with the carbohydrates. So I'm going to go to this page right here. I think this is going to help me a lot. So I'm going to draw my polysaccharide for carbohydrate. Draw 3 glucose molecules together. And then I'm also going to draw my hydrogen at the end and my OH at the end. And then I know that this polysaccharide is getting broken down into its monomer unit, glucose. So I'm going to draw 3 glucose molecules. And if I look at my glucose molecule here, I have an H at the end of each one. And an OH on the left side. All right, so I've taken my polysaccharide, I've broken it down into my monosaccharide glucose. Am I done? Not quite yet, because if we look at the reactants and products, there's a whole lot more H's and OH's here. And we know that energy can't be created or destroyed, so where did they come from? Well, before, when we built a molecule, water came out. In this case, we're going to be putting water in to break our molecule. So I count 1, 2 hydrogens here, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need 4 more hydrogens on this side. So I'm going to do, I have 6 hydrogens on this side now, 6 hydrogens on this side. I'm going to connect them to an oxygen. So then I'm going to count my oxygens, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 oxygens, awesome. And then all the other atoms within the monomers of glucose, or in my polysaccharide here and the atoms here, those all just stay within the molecule. So really what happened is we took water, right, along with the polysaccharide, and then that polysaccharide broke apart and created 3 glucose molecules. So I have finished with the second part of modeling this explanation. The next thing is really just summarizing everything that we just did and using these, our main terms. So I need to use my specific terms for monomers and polymers, and I need to include where the process occurs and also include the word leaf cells. So here's my first sentence. A polysaccharide, so that's that specific polymer for a carbohydrate, is broken down into a monosaccharide, the specific name for a monomer for carbohydrates, and this happens in the roots. Right? Now I need to also explain, why does this process occur? What's the whole point of it? And from my reading right here, I could say that this happens because the leaf cells, another word I needed to use, this happens because the leaf cells need extra energy. So in summary, we're taking this polysaccharide in the roots, breaking it down so my leaf cells could get that extra energy.